preparation matters because, like I was saying, when you're dealing with a man who has issues with not knowing what he wants, not being able to, not being able to grow in a communication kind of way, you're not dealing with a man who's feeling offended. You're dealing with a man who's not prepared. You're dealing with a man who didn't do the work prior to getting in a relationship. You're dealing with a man who didn't have to do the work before, and so he hasn't worked on himself enough to even know how to do the damn work. You know what I'm saying? And that's why being prepared matters all the time. And that to me goes back. It just goes back to being like little boys, like being prepared with what you need and just knowing how to prepare yourself. So like it makes perfect sense. Like you have to be ready for a person in every season. And men, I feel like, need to do more work because of how simplistic we are. Because sometimes that simplicity can intertwine. It can kind of get mixed in with apathy. And so sometimes you get to a point where it's like, well, I mean, I'm simple. It's how I am, and it turns into I don't care. You feel me? And so like women, that is not how it works. It's how y'all analyze things, y'all think about things. You require more. And as a man, everybody knows it. We say it all the time. Men are simple, women are complex. As a man, if you know men are simple and women are complex, you need to do the work prior to engaging with this woman that you know gonna be complex before you get with her, so you already have an understanding of how that works, so that you're prepared. So when the winter comes and you know this woman gonna be complex, you got enough coach. You got enough.
Come through, Brian.
You got enough to do. And you ain't out here trying to. You're not out here trying to appease this woman in the winter, and you got flip flops on.
What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another episode of Straight Chaos No Chaser. I'm Adrienne, your host, and today I have my great friend Brian on. How are you doing today?
I'm good, man. I can't complain.
No complaints.
Thanks for having me on.
You're welcome.
Good to be here.
We've been trying to do this, right?
For a long time.
You're like, when you gonna have me on your show?
I made it.
Like, when you gonna have me on your show?
Forever. Right. But I'm here though.
Look, Happy New Year. Happy New Year.
Yeah, man, Happy New Year.
I know.
We here. We made it.
I know.
It's going to be a good year.
Listen, that's all I could ask for. You know what I'm saying? Like, God allowed me to see another year. Like, that's it.
I said, and that's enough. We made it. God allowed us to get here. We got it.
Because some people didn't get it. I feel you on that one. Right. So before we get into, the nitty gritty, I like to do a trivia portion on my shows. And so I'm going to hit you with a little trivia. You get the answer wrong, you take a shot. You get it right, I'll take a shot.
All right.
So, in the spirit of our conversation today, my girl Issa Rae had a web series called Awkward Black Girl.
Mm-hmm.
When did the first episode, what year did the first episode debut?
Oh, here you go. Let me get my shot ready.
You ain't even gonna guess.
Let me see. Let me think back. Say awkward. I know it's on YouTube. I'm gonna shoot for 2000. We'll say 2008.
Oh, you had me nervous. It's 2011.
Oh shit!
You're just gonna drink up. That was a big shot. Oh, you like, I'm gonna take half of that.
I'm a drinker.
It was 2011. Yeah, I'd be like, man, what was I? But I was in Alabama at that time.
I don't remember 2011. I don't know. It seemed like it was earlier than that. Okay, cool. 2011.
Yeah, 2011. So Brian, right. So first of all, before we get into what's good, bad, and what's ugly, Brian and I, we know each other from way back from school. We're from the same hometown. We went to, I don't know if we went to elementary school together, but I know we went to middle school and high school together.
Middle school.
Yeah. Like high school, we were in band together. What you played? Snare drum?
Percussion. Snare drum, bass drum, everything.
I think you played quads too.
Quads too, yep.
Yeah, we used to have so much fun. Like
we did have fun. It was some good days.
Great days.
I should have stuck with it once we got in college the way I wanted to.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we went to college together, Fort Valley together.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I know.
Yeah, I was in a Blue Machine for like a month.
Why? For a month? What happened?
They dropped my classes and then he wouldn't let me be in the band. The classes got dropped, so he told me I couldn't be on the drum line. And I was doing Death Squad. I was trying to get this too.
I think that's how that works, though. I think you got to be enrolled.
Yeah. You know how to financial aid. Financial aid had me jacked up.
Don't get us started on that financial aid. But right. Yeah. Okay. So on my show, I like to ask, what's good, what's bad, and what's ugly. So it doesn't matter what it's about. Just what's good with you, what's bad, what's ugly. I'm just kind of doing a checkup on you.
Right. Okay. What's good with me? My energy is good. I'm vibrating high. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to stay positive. So my energy has just been really high. You know what I'm saying? That's what's going on with me right now. I'm trying to manifest new year. I'm trying to get things. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. What's bad? COVID is what's bad. Mm-hmm. It's hindering things. You know what I'm saying? I'm just ready for it to be over. It seems like COVID on some other stuff. Every time you think it's done, they go another letter. Mm-hmm. So it's like it's pledging. Different chapters. Yeah, it's so what's ugly? I don't know what's ugly. That's a hard one. Ugly. What is ugly?
Maybe you don't have anything that's ugly. One thing I tell people: don't try to make something ugly if you ain't got nothing ugly.
Yeah, I ain't got nothing ugly right now.
That's good.
What's good? What's bad? What's ugly?
That's good. For me, what's good is, I'm here. 2022, I'm here. Lord bless me enough to see another year, so I'm good. And I don't have any resolutions or anything like that, but I'm just I want to move with purpose, with good intentions, and in clarity. That's it.
Yeah.
And so that's just in everything that I do. Anything I put my energy into, that's what I want it to be. So,
right.
And I'm really just kind of doing that. So, because it's one thing to say something, you gotta do it. So, I try to stay on top of me about not being just a talker, but also being a doer. So,
right.
Yeah. Right.
That matters.
Yeah. What's bad? What's bad? Just things. Sometimes things are just all over the place. Right. Honestly, right now, I just feel like I feel like my life is a puzzle, and pieces are just kind of spread out, and I'm just waiting for the day that I just put it all together and get it together. That's how I feel. Okay. That's what's bad. So I just feel like everything is just kind of scattered, but we're gonna get that. We're gonna have a full puzzle. That's how I'm gonna say that. That's what I'm saying.
Right. It's already getting put together.
Right. What's ugly is COVID. The thing about it is so many people have gotten sick with this, or so many people have caught this last variant. And the good thing is they haven't been getting, terribly sick. Right. They've been recovering fairly well. I've known a couple people close to me who have gotten it. Who knows the direction of this thing? Who knows where it's going? And I just hope that I don't want to put that in there. I don't want to say it because, I say stuff and then, so I just want to make sure that I'm doing what I can to protect myself, but still living my life. I don't know, because it's it kind of makes sense when you think about it. The memes that you see on Instagram is CDC says y'all on your own or drink some ginger ale. Because I guess it's kind of like, we told people to do this. We told people to do that. And it's still very prominent. So it's like, what can you do? But I can't say that if I knew that I had the virus that I would still just be out around people mingling.
Right.
Like, I can't say that.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But, I still want to live my life. I still want to travel and do things, but just wear a mask and protect myself.
Yeah.
That's all I can do.
Right. Wash yourself. You know what I'm saying? Wash your hands.
Wash my hands.
Stay clean. Wear your
I
mask.
ain't never washed my hand for 20 seconds, though. I'm just going ahead and tell you that.
Yeah, you get that quick little doggone. All right, let's try these things on. We're going to get on out of here.
20 seconds, you want me to say the alphabet? It's not happening.
Right. I'm not doing it.
Look.
Yeah,
Lord.
Right.
Lord, you got me.
Right. You got these things off. Back on outside. You got to live. You definitely have to live. And I would be lying if I sat here and said I was one of the people that wasn't in one of them Atlanta memes where it's like the world had COVID, but Atlanta was partying. You probably see me in the background like, yeah.
Yeah, I was off the chain.
Yeah, we ain't closed down at all. But I mean, and that's not me bragging or anything, but it's also to say that you gotta live. Like, you know what I'm saying? You gotta live.
But y'all was on something different though.
It was different, but
let me tell you what Atlanta was doing. Atlanta was on this. I'm down here in the South, the Bible Belt, and guess who got me? Jesus. So we finna turn up. Yeah.
And it ain't like our numbers were that different from a lot of other people. Then we was partying, and our numbers was just as constant as the other places that were closed down. So it was just like, we're going to go to this day party. We're going to figure the rest of it out when I get back.
Hey, baby, put me on some ginger ale.
Right, yeah.
I can't.
It was, yeah. I think that when it first happened, I was doing a lot of protesting. That was the majority of what I was doing in 2020 was protesting all the time. So that was my in it, all vocal for why I was in it all the time. So, but yeah, the city didn't close.
Yeah.
It was open.
Y'all was out there living your best life. I ain't mad. I think some of us was hating though. Y'all was living your best life. We was.
I mean, but I don't think Vegas was all the way closed either.
We was closed. Oh, no. We were closed. Nah, bruh. No. We were closed. You couldn't go nowhere. That was just y'all. That was just y'all because we wasn't in them streets. Atlanta and COVID for the streets.
Right.
In the streets.
In the streets.
Having fun. Yes. Yeah. But yeah, so that's all I got for my ugly. So
okay.
So we're gonna get into our conversation today. So y'all know that I love the show Insecure. I mean, what's not to love about it? So of course I needed to get a male's perspective. And Brian loves the show. He's a fan. Love. So
bittersweet.
We are actually going to talk about the season finale, the show finale tonight. And we're just going to kind of go through it and dissect a few things and just talk about, the show, the progression of the show, the characters, so forth and so on. So I want to do something different. So I'm going to ask you a question, right? And I want you to write down your answer. And then we're going to show it at the same time, okay?
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
So, the first question I want to ask you is, who do you feel like grew the most through the entire show, like to the end? Like, who had like the most growth? I mean, not just relationship wise, but just as a person. Maybe the way they dealt with things. Just all around. That's who I think.
You probably gonna trip on an answer, but I still feel like it was broken.
You better not say Chad neither. Okay. All right. 1, 2, 3.
You see mine?
Kelly. Okay. You see mine?
Lawrence. Okay. I thought about Lawrence too.
So
But I was.
So tell me about. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Nah, I mean, only reason I said Kelly is I felt like there was a certain expectation for Lawrence to grow. Like we watched him from the beginning, and yeah, he grew. There was significant growth, but I think just as a overall, I still feel like even though Lawrence started out, a lot of them they started out with their own struggles. Lawrence, to me, kind of had it together. Kelly from the beginning just seemed like she was just living. Like Kelly was like her views on love, like on relationship. Kelly was like living her best life, and like for her to go from crazy ass Kelly, life of the party ass Kelly, just immature and just kind of got it together. I'm a work kid, but I ain't gonna work here. Get me on here. You know what I'm saying? To like a whole mother, stable relationship. You know what I'm saying? Kind of seemed like she had it together. And I mean, closer towards the end of the series, you can kind of see that professional aspect of her, like her ability to, hold something down. I don't know. It was fun watching Kelly because I felt like Kelly was funny, man. She was funny, but she just
super funny.
It's like, yeah, it was like for me, I felt like, damn, like what the fuck Kelly do? Like, what does she do? And so that it was good for me to see her grow like that. Mm-hmm. It was the most surprising growth.
Okay. Yeah, because Kelly was Lawrence? More so like, well, before I talk about Lawrence, but Kelly was more so like, Kelly was more so like your fun friend, never serious or hardly serious. Always had a joke about something. Never took anything like serious. And so I can understand what you mean. I knew she was kind of like something in, I think like finance or something. Cause I remember when she was trying to help Issa and she was telling Issa like,
right. Yeah.
You need to scale all the way back. Like pretty much you need to be leaving out of a car. So,
right.
But yeah, no, I agree. Like for Kelly to get to the end where she found somebody who she wants to procreate with and just be in love, and she went to work at Molly's firm. Hey, you have to step out on that faith because sometimes we're nervous. We are so comfortable in what we know. It's hard to take that leap of faith when it's something that's unknown, and we're all afraid. We're all afraid of rejection, getting shot down. So,
right,
I get it. Now, for me, it was Lawrence. So, in the beginning, Lawrence sitting at home. He had a college degree, but he had a certain plan that he wanted for himself and his career, what he wanted to do. And, once the thing happened with him and Issa, I mean, he had to get out there and do something because you don't have nobody to, I don't want to say mooch off of, but you don't have a crutch anymore. Like, right. You got to get out there. So, he got into the work field. And of course, he had this big idea for his app, but he see that, they weren't really buying it. So all in all, he just kind of grew with, because sometimes you need that. Sometimes you have a plan for yourself and that's not really what you're supposed to be doing. And you could be used better in other areas. So, he, I think, left that job. And then I remember talking to, I think, Issa, and just saying like, I really like working on other people's projects. And so that right there just kind of opened so many more doors for him, and he could take his blinders off and have many more opportunities. So he grew in his work, area. And then like when he first broke up with Issa, he was screwing a bunch of girls just like men do when they get hurt. They just gonna knock everything down. And so, that's what you want to call it. So, he did that. I hated the scene with him and them two girls. Like,
and that probably was the worst one. That probably was the.
But anyway, anytime I rewatch the season, I fast forward that. I don't want to watch this. But then, you know, like, getting him somewhere to stay, like, you know, not staying with Chad all the time or whatever. Like, he had to grow up. And then, you know, like him getting with Condola, like, of course, he was looking for something, because Lawrence is a relationship type of guy.
He is.
He's a relationship type of guy, you know.
That's why all that sporadic sex was just crazy, because he is a relationship type of guy, like, regardless, like, he was
just releasing, and he was hurt. That's what people have to do. Anyway, so, you know, he did all that or whatever, but he got with Condola, and he was, now let me tell you one thing about Lawrence. He let me go back. So he started dating Condola, and I think that he wanted something a little more long term with Condola. But when he realized that he may have just been, you know, a boy tour or something for her to just kind of fun to do, it changed things for him. And honestly, I'm not going to invite myself nowhere. So if we're dating and you're having something, because if you remember, they were together and she was like, oh, I'm having a little Friendsgiving. She never invited him. And he was like, should I come? You want me to come? And she was like, yeah. Like, listen, I ain't invited myself nowhere. Okay. Yeah. If you want me to be there, I'll be there. But I'm not going to be like, so should I come? You know, I don't. Yeah, no.
Yeah. She annoyed me a lot with that. Like, she was on that whole, like, she never really wanted him to be a part of her life, like, at all. Right. And then when it felt like he wasn't being there for the experience with the baby, then it felt like she had a problem, which he needed to be there. But like, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
but you know what? But we're gonna talk about that. But at the same time, it's like, you know, if you don't express that you want me to be somewhere, you know, I'm not going to show interest or I'm not going to, you know, try to make myself available for you to be there. But so with that or whatever, I think he was trying to be a little bit more long-term with Condola. But then once he realized that kind of wasn't what she was maybe after via her friends, you know, that's when the conversation happened about, would you even be here if you and Issa hadn't broke up? You know, if she hadn't cheated? Because the reality was they would still be together. Sorry.
Right.
Sorry, condominium. Yeah. They will still be together.
Right. They will still be together.
But so then Lawrence, you know, he steps up as a man, because the thing about it is, as much as Lawrence did not want that baby, like, you were a consenting adult.
He was. Yeah.
You know, that whole little thing about being mad at a woman, like, let me tell you something.
Yeah.
If you don't want, listen, let me tell you something. If you really, really, really don't want a woman to get pregnant and you don't care what she's saying, you would use a condom every single time.
Every time?
Every single time.
Every time.
Like
there's always a choice.
But I'm on birth control. I know, but I'm still gonna strap it up. So, you know, like,
I've never understood that anyway. Like, that whole, I'm gonna have sex with this girl and I'm gonna come in this girl, then I'm gonna tell her, hey, look, I ain't trying to have no baby. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've never understood that. I don't get that. I just don't understand it. Like, nigga, really? Like, you don't, how do you expect, I don't know. I don't get it. And he was mad at her.
like it is very perplexing. Like, you both did it. Now, unless she pulled suck your semen out of the condom and used a turkey baster, okay. Be mad. Real mad.
Be mad.
Okay.
Right. But that wasn't the case.
That wasn't the case. So, you know, I mean, come on, people. I know it feels good.
But figure it out, because the baby's here.
The baby is here. So, you know, it was good to see him mature and want to step up. And I was actually kind of getting a little mad when he was trying to step up and Condola was like, I don't need you. But then one of my friends explained it to me, like, you know, you just don't understand. She was like, I kind of get it, because when you've done this by yourself and you've had this baby inside of you for this whole long time, and somebody doesn't want to be present for you, and then when like the baby's here now, they want to be like, oh, I'm here. Like you want an award for that because you're here now.
Right.
And I could get that. Like I can understand that.
Yeah. I definitely can get that too. I do think that there was some responsibility to be had for Condola though, just because she had been so like, I don't want you around. Like you can only hear somebody tell you they don't want you around so much.
However, this is the thing though.
And I'm not excusing it. Because he made a child. So I'm not excusing it.
But what I'm saying is they both made a child.
Right. They both made a child, and he does have responsibility, like, you know what I'm saying? But there's still that emotional association, like, you know, that feeling of like, oh, do I really want to be around her? Like, you know what I'm saying? Does she even want me to be around? Like, I feel like I need to be here, but she really be on some. So, you know, and that's not me excusing again.
No, I get it. I mean, that's just you being in your head. But, you know, I think I remember him saying, I thought we were careful. And she was like, but what does that mean?
Like, that is
what does that mean? Like. I thought we were careful. Like, I always wanted to know, like, what does being careful mean? Does it? Because please don't tell me be careful means the pull out.
Pulling out. That's what being careful means.
Please don't tell me that, because let me tell you something. I don't play them games.
Yeah.
Because let me tell you something. I don't play them games. I'll be at CVS. What aisle is your plan B on?
That part.
We don't need no surprises. None.
That part for
none.
Real. And pulling out is the most ineffective way. I mean,
and that's the most immature thing. Now, if let me tell y'all something. If any of y'all in y'all 40s and y'all pulling out, shame on you.
Shame on you.
Shame on you.
Go ahead and shoot that low. Go ahead and shoot that low. Because realistically, if you in your 40s, you and married, you done shot some of it anyway. So you have pulling out anyway. You ain't even pulling out all the way. You know. Go ahead and shoot that low. You ain't no careful.
Just go ahead. Ain't no careful, man. What? That happened to me one time. I'm serious. Like, I was in, this was a couple years ago, some years ago. But anyway, I think I was in the clear, but he was like, did you really go get a plan B? I was like, yes.
Yeah.
He was like, but I was like, okay. Like, he just laughed at me. I'm like,
yeah,
you gonna be laughing if
if Junior rolls around like
in 9 months. Yeah, I ain't.
Sure.
You're gonna be like, I thought we were careful. Nah, bruh. But
right.
But anyway, so with Lawrence, let me get on with Lawrence. So, but yeah, with Lawrence, I just feel like just his work life, and then, you know, relationship wise, he kind of, you know, started knowing what he wanted to do. But I think one of the biggest things for me was he accepted responsibility for what he did, like the role, like when him and Issa sat down in season 4, and they just, that's one of my favorite episodes, when they sat down and they just kind of like own their shit, you know, and yo, that was good. And then when he stepped up, because Chad was like, one thing I love about the show, the men held one another accountable.
They did that. Yes. Oh man, that to me was the best part of the show, is the way that they made a conscious effort to show black men in roles that weren't so like overly stereotypical, or like just these exaggerated versions of what people see black men are, because in reality, a lot of us, we are accountable. Those relationships are realistic, you know what I'm saying, in terms of what we are to each other. Like with my homeboys, like we ain't out here bullshitting, like we holding each other accountable. Like we talk about it all the time. We text each other daily. Like we don't play. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you do it, you got to stand in it. That kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, we about building each other. So I really appreciated her for writing in black men who looked like that, like who acted and behaved and spoke like that, and they wasn't bums. You know what I'm saying? They might have had stuff they were going through, but like Lawrence might not have had a job. He was educated.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? He was
Mm-hmm.
trying. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciated that.
Mm-hmm.
That I thought that was dope.
Yeah, it was really good. And it was really good for black men to see that and to know that it's okay, because I'm pretty sure there are so many black men who have friends and they want to say something like, yo, you did this, you did that, why are you upset? But, you know, they are reluctant to. I won't say afraid, but they're reluctant to. But it was just really good to showcase that. And so, you know, several times where we're going to talk about that more, but yeah, so being held accountable, and then Lawrence just kind of stepping up and just doing what it was that he needed to do. So
I see your point with Lawrence. I'll give you that. I give you that for Lawrence, because Lawrence really did. He matured. Like,
he did.
You know, he really did.
And Lawrence liked to play it safe. He likes to play it safe, because even when Lawrence I couldn't make her stay, and Chad was like, you know all that stuff I had to do to get Leah back? He was like, there was nothing that would have stopped me from getting her back. And it stuck with Lawrence, and it should have. Mm-hmm. And sometimes it's not about making somebody choose something they don't want to do. Sometimes people want to know that you want to fight for them.
Right. Yeah.
Sometimes, you know, even though I want to leave, like, I want to know that you're going to make it damn hard for me to leave.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Regardless.
Regardless. Yeah. So when my boy stepped up and was like, Nathan was like, what's going on here? She was like, nothing. He was like, nah, we was having a conversation. I said, okay, Lawrence.
Right. Yeah. That to me was the best Lawrence that I think I've seen.
Yes.
With everything that he had gone through, that was a refreshing Lawrence. I was like, oh, okay, all right, okay. What's going to happen?
Because Lawrence didn't really rock the boat. He just kind of like, you know, like, I couldn't make her stay. I couldn't like it ain't about what she want. What do you want, Lawrence?
What do you want? Go get your girl. Like,
anyway, so my boy Lawrence grew. I think we're good, you know. So yeah. So good. That was my question.
All
you
right,
got one for me?
Next question going. I do. Let's see. Yeah. All right, here's a good one. Who did you want Issa to end up with? Let's see. Are we gonna be the same? I got a feeling. Ready?
Yep. Oh my God. I didn't even have to write nothing. Oh my God. So tell me why you want Issa to end up with Nathan. That's funny. That was going to be my next question.
Because, like, Nathan, I felt like they needed each other. Like, I felt like they came into each other's life at a time when they both needed each other. And I wanted a win. I feel like I wanted a win for Nathan. Because Nathan went through it with Issa. And he stuck in there, like, because Issa was really tripping. Like, you know what I'm saying? Issa put old boy through. Granted, he had some mental health issues and those things, but you can tell that Nathan loved her. Like, he cared for her. Like, regardless of what happened, like, he always came back. Nathan always came back. Like, he always put that work in. Like, especially towards the end when they were talking, moving in together, and they, you know what I'm saying? I really felt like Nathan wanted, like, he was beginning to see himself there. Like, he wanted Issa, he loved Issa, and I felt like Issa was unsure, but Issa's always unsure. You know what I'm saying? That's who Issa is. Like, she always don't know. But you know what I'm saying? But I wanted Issa to be with Nathan because I felt like Nathan was good for Issa, because Issa needed someone who knew. You know what I'm saying? Like, he had some mental health issues, but Nathan knew what he wanted. Nathan knew where he was, you know what I'm saying? He represented what I feel stability for Issa, for Issa who was still trying to figure it out. Like, I don't know. I felt like I just wanted a win for Nathan. Like, I felt like he had earned it. I don't know. I'm always rooting for the underdog. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it was a far. I feel like it was a far fetched chance, but it was just something. It was just something about their dynamic. I felt like it felt good to me for some reason. I was just like, yo, like we got to get Nathan to win, man. Like I don't know. Nathan to me always had to be the mature one. He always had to be the one to come back, and I don't know. I just wanted. I wanted to be Nathan.
That's hey. It was always Lawrence for me. Always.
That romantic love story.
I'm such a hopeless romantic, and at this point I'm just like, I get ashamed to say it because I just am. But Lawrence and Issa, they had a different connection. It was different. And I didn't feel that with Nathan. Like, Nathan was cool, but it never was it. Like, I used to just be like, is she gonna end up with him? Like, that's how I used to look at it. Because the thing with Lawrence and Issa, they broke up because Lawrence was sitting home. He wasn't doing what he needed to be doing. Anybody get tired of that, man or woman? You're gonna get tired of going to work and your significant other sitting at the house, right? And they got all these excuses. It gets boring. And then you see somebody who excites you and, you know, it's different. And it's like, there's that excitement again. There's that spark. Cool. Issa cheated. She was wrong. She cheated. And, of course, when she cheated, Lawrence took down her broken pussy video. I was like, it always be like that. He was like, look, babe, I did something for you. She's like, and I cheated on you. Ain't I asshole? Yes. But anyway. Yeah. So, you know, things start to get better, but I just feel like that's how it always goes when somebody steps out on the other person. Like, the universe just get that thing together. But anyway, so they broke up because Issa cheated, rightfully so. And, you know, of course, being upset and being mad. And again, Lawrence's friends, Derek was like, Issa ain't the only one to blame for this. Like, you sat home for like 2 years and did nothing. Yeah.
He had a really good friend.
Man, great. See, them grown men right there. Them grown men. He was like, you sat home and did nothing. Like, you know. Right. And so, whatever. Issa wanted to get him back. She tried, and it just, you know, you just let it go. They lived their lives. Things went on. Issa tried... Daniel, but that wasn't gonna work. That was just, you know.
Yeah, Daniel definitely wasn't gonna work.
That wasn't gonna work.
But you know what you're saying? That makes the total. She tried.
She tried.
She never tried with Nathan.
She did try with Nathan. I'm gonna get to that. She tried with Nathan. So she tried with Daniel. Right? Cool. Boom. Until he, you know, yeah. Yeah. So her and Lawrence, you know, when did they have like a moment? They had moved on and things, you know, they had both kind of went through some things. And I think the first time they saw each other was at like the baby shower. Mm-hmm. Yep. And then they saw each other. No, the first time they saw each other was at Coachella or something like that.
You're right.
In the gas station. Oh my God. You should have seen me watching the episode. I was like, okay. Mm-hmm. But anyway, so the baby shower, whatever. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, they did have an encounter before that, but it wasn't.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm talking about a good encounter, you know. And I'm just talking about good because, of course, they had an encounter at the dinner, and they was, you know,
right.
Yeah,
right.
But when they started, because they just have a connection. So fast forward, him and Condola together. Issa finds out that he's with Condola. Cool. She goes into some type of restaurant or something to eat. Lawrence is there. They're talking. You see their chemistry. You see their connection. Like, it's still there. Condola walks up. Condola like, what's funny? Condola, guess what? You and Lawrence don't have this. Sorry.
Right. Yeah, they never had it.
You don't have it. So the thing about it is Issa and Lawrence always had that it ain't even a spark, but they just had that chemistry. They had that connection. They had that togetherness. And so that happened. And then, you know, when they had the conversation, oh my God. Again, one of my most favorite episodes when they had the conversation and, you know, Issa owned what she did and Lawrence, you know, owned what he did, and they talked and they had a great night. And then life happened. As life happens, life happened. And I was like, when he walked in that house, I was like, Condola pregnant. I just said it in my head because it's life. Come on, man. You already know. Yeah. Like, you be living, you be smooth sailing, and you be like, you know what? Can't nothing mess this up. And that monkey wrench just like.
Yeah. And it was a big one. That to me was one of the hardest episodes for me to watch. Because when he walked in that house, my heart was like. Because you
already knew it. Because we already lived this with Derwin and Melanie on the game.
Yeah.
Already.
Yeah. Already. It was like, oh my God.
It just hurts.
That was a hard episode to watch.
It just hurts. So, you know, the thing about it is, Issa, you know, we're like, oh, like, I can't do this. Like, I just can't do this. And then you have your girlfriends in your ear like, girl, da, 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 da. So it supports your decision not to be able to do it or not to want to do it. But, like, let me tell you something. When you are in your drunken state and a person you want to call, you still want to be with them. So when they had a girls' night out,
I agree.
When they had
unfinished business.
When they, I don't even want to call it unfinished. They never saw it through. Like, because it's like it didn't. It's like it did not work because they consistently cheated on each other, or they were being abusive towards one another, or they were being, you know, buttholes to one another. It's just like life was happening. So
everything with them was timing. Like, it was just always timing.
And
you know what I'm saying?
And you know what? Sometimes I know timing is everything, but I guess I don't know. Whatever. But yeah. So then when he had a conversation, so the baby happened, and then when Chad was like, so both of their friends helped them get together because Chad said nothing would have kept me from Leah, and Molly said, I wonder what you would have said if Nathan wouldn't have walked up. And when he was like, I don't know. And Molly know her. Molly's like, you don't know.
She know.
And she then when Molly said, yo, sometimes it's not that hard. You know what I'm saying? Like, if that's what you really want, it's not that hard. And when Molly gave her the okay, that's all she needed. Because it's difficult when your friends like hate or don't like or are not fans of you getting back with your ex or whatever the case may be. Because all you're going to hear is, girl, blah, 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 and it sucks.
Yeah. I mean, I hear all that, and I get the, you know, the love story and the ins and the outs and the, but my boy Nathan, you know what I'm saying? I get it. I get it. There was never the same kind of connection. I get it. But at the same time, I felt like Nathan was what she needed, though. Like I said, I don't know.
But see, so Nathan was fun. He was good. I think he was a good distraction. I think he was something good to help her get her stuff together, kind of. Let's see. When her and Nathan met, they had a moment. They was cooling. He ghosted. Right?
He did.
He ghosted, but he came back and he said, why? Cool. They were friends and they tried, you know, they made it work. They just didn't fit to me. They just didn't fit to me.
Yeah.
But I get it. But
they ain't fit the way her and Lawrence fit. But I just feel like if had Issa put in a little more effort in that thing, like I felt like, I don't think she ever gave him a fair try.
You know why? Because she was still trying to, you know, because she still wanted to see it with my boy Lawrence. You know what I'm saying?
Trying to play with my boy. But I feel that, though. I think I was this is just me looking like, dang, man. Like,
But no, I get it because even too, like, remember when she was trying to get and Nathan to say that he loved her, which is something that you can't do. Like, you can't make somebody love you when you love them.
Right. But that's not how it works.
Right. So, that whole thing, and they had a moment when he like, yo, you all over the place, like, da-da-da-da-da. And he's like, yeah, all right. And I was like, I didn't like that, Nathan. But I get it.
She was all over the place, though.
She was. But, however, when Issa's mom called, and she said, so you my daughter's boyfriend? He could have said, we ain't there yet. So he shouldn't have said yes, because they hadn't made it official. See, I had a problem with that. Like,
no, but
I had a problem
at the same time, you can't say Issa wasn't playing the game.
They both were.
Well, then she couldn't have. I mean, come on now. You can't. She was doing everything that a girlfriend do.
Like
the everything, the emotional associations, the sex, the relationships, the dates, the everything. They were doing everything the couples do. The lunch, bringing lunches and all. They were doing all that stuff.
I don't remember bringing lunches, but I do recall her being upset and her crying in his mouth. But I think she was just emotional, and he got up and left.
Yeah, crying. Issa was a mess, man. Issa was a mess. I mean,
I think that they both played a role in it. I really do, because if Nathan wanted to slow it down or hold her accountable for saying she wanted to take it slow, then he should have done that.
Perhaps.
I'm sorry saying that, because nobody be like, sure.
I mean,
perhaps.
Okay, and I will say this, and I'll say this. When I was thinking about that answer, if I can be honest with myself, I wanted to write Lawrence just because, in the end, I wanted it to be Lawrence, like, because I felt like at the end Lawrence had done the work. You know what I'm saying? Like, as far as his maturity, and as far as like how far he had come, because I ain't gonna front, season 1, I did not stand Lawrence. I was like, what, nigga, if you don't get up, like, dude, you're a black man, get up off that couch.
Get up.
Like, you know what I'm saying? But so near the end, I was like, I wanted to be him, but there was just a part of me that was like, man, give my boy Nathan a chance. You know what I'm saying? He trying to, he got.
We ain't giving out no consolation prizes.
Right, you know what I'm saying? You say you want somebody who ain't just sitting on the couch, then you get somebody who ain't sitting on the couch now.
But see, Lawrence had got his stuff together. That's different. Listen, let me tell you something. That's different.
He got his stuff together.
Listen.
But Nathan wasn't no bum, though.
No, he wasn't. But he wasn't Lawrence. Anyway, because we can talk about this all night. Right. So let me ask you this. Which character do you see yourself in the most? You got it?
Okay. So I got 2 people.
Okay.
All right, you ready?
Yes.
Okay.
What?
I'm just thinking through it.
Okay.
I'm gonna explain this.
Can you see mine? What's your say? Issa and go up. I can't see it.
Lawrence.
Issa and Lawrence. Did you see mine?
I see. Yeah. Who? Issa. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know. Why? Well, you go first. Why Issa?
Because I'm awkward. I'm awkward, and like sometimes things don't be going right in my world, but I be trying. Like I be trying. I be trying, and I have a mirror person. Like that whole mirror thing. I talk to myself enough. I ain't gonna try to make myself crazy. I'm not crazy, y'all, but I don't do it to the extent that she does it, and I love the mirror conversation. I really, really do. But she was like, "We hate to see it."
Yo, hey, on it, man. Her mirror person at the end was an asshole.
Hey,
She was an
so
asshole at the
yo,
end.
so much, but she's just so funny. It's just so funny. But
She is, man.
but again, just just kind of feeling lost in what you're doing sometimes, and you have good intentions, and that's who Issa is. Like, she had good intentions in the things that she was doing, and she's just trying to find her way. Definitely wanted to right her wrongs with people. And just trying to figure it out along the way. And so I'm like that. I always want to make sure that I'm making sure that I'm doing my part in whatever relationship that I have, whether it's a friendship or a relationship. And when things go wrong, like with her and Molly, you have to have those hard conversations, and sometimes you just don't want to. But I've seen myself in that, and just quirky and clumsy. Like, even in the last episode, she was like, y'all got something? I spilled something on him. Real clumsy. I did something the other day, and my friend was like, yep, sounds like my friend. I can't remember what I did. Oh, I tried to put like some some sauce on something I was eating, and the whole top came off, and all the sauce just fell all over it. And I was like,
what in the world?
She was like, that sounds like you. But I really see myself in Issa, and I'm gonna grind it out. I'm learning that I'm innovative, and I'm very creative, and so it's scary at first, but you just kind of gotta take that leap of faith and just get out there, and that's something she did, and like a boss. And you have to be comfortable with the decisions that you want to make, right? Like, you have to be comfortable with it making sense to you, and that is me, because I will ask some of my friends' opinions or what they think. And at the end of the day, they may influence, but at the end of the day, I want to make sure that I'm doing something because I want to do it, or I'm not doing something because I don't want to do it, and not because of what other people think.
Right. I agree.
What about you?
A lot of that was, and it's not the effeminate part about Issa, but just like, just the good intentions, like, like I saw, like, I don't know, I always thought of Issa was like my homegirl on the show. Like, we could have been hanging out because I felt like we had so much in common. Like, Issa always had good intentions. I feel like I always have good intentions. Like, I have a lot of good ideas. My intentions are always there. Stuff just be happening. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
yes,
I take a step and then something else happens, you know what I'm saying? But it never stops me. I keep pushing, I grind, I get out there and I'll network. It might look crazy sometimes. I figure it out, I get to it, I do it, but I never stop. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm resilient. I feel like Issa was resilient. Like, a lot of the stuff she did and said, it was all over the place sometimes and didn't really make a lot of sense, but she was resilient. And, that resilience, that will to drive, that will to go on, ended up working out. And it was good for her, you know what I'm saying? It was good for just her process. And I feel like that's me sometimes. Like, I might not have all the answers, but I'll never stop. And eventually I'll get to where I'm going. And you will see the progress. You will see it, you know what I'm saying? And that's kind of how I feel. On the other hand, with Lawrence, it's just that Black man in America aspect of what I from looking at Lawrence as a Black man on the show, even back to his experiences when he got pulled over by the cops that time, and just like everything, it's like surviving in a world that was not necessarily designed for us, and having to live and matriculate and grow, being smart enough to do so, but not always having the opportunities, maybe not believing in yourself, but having that, with being that push and getting that push and succeeding. So I was able to kind of see myself like jailed in between both of them, because that's just how I feel like I've been. I haven't always been the most motivated, if I can be honest. But I've watched myself. I've had the opportunity to see myself go from someone who had the potential, maybe not the initiative, to someone who recognize and realize the potential, put it to work, and now I've seen myself grow into something I never thought I would be. And I've jailed, the little boy that was inside of me has grown with me, as opposed to me leaving that little boy and trying to figure it out without taking care of him. And so, like, I was able to see myself through Lawrence because I feel like I watched it. I think when I think about black men all the time, I always think about shameless plug, like the book I'm writing, the first chapter is the boy inside the man. And so when I think about black men all the time, I think about the little boy that we all have inside of us, that if we don't nourish, he won't grow. Mm-hmm. And I attribute a lot of the problems that we have emotionally and socially and relationally and all that to that little boy, not getting what he needs. And so, I try to look at different aspects, and I saw a lot of that in Lawrence, and just watching him become. And so, like, to me, that's kind of how I feel. I was able to see him and see myself also, like, dang, I remember that. I remember having a degree, college, after graduating, leaving Fort Valley with a degree, and not necessarily having all the initiative in the world, and having to find my way through that, and trying to get there, but being where I am now. And so, long story short, that's kind of why I was able to jail the two. Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah.
I get that. Yeah, no, and you said the same. You said something that made me feel the same way about like Issa, just kind of not knowing how far you can get in life with what you are doing or how you see yourself or what you see for yourself. So I feel the same way right now. Like I keep having that realization, like, man, wow, I've actually put energy into other things and I've birthed other things. I had like one goal and one objective. I did it. And then it's like, now I want to do this and I want to do that. And
right.
I've been doing a lot of things. And so I can feel that aspect of Issa as well.
I feel like every time Issa realized that she could do something, she did something else. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? It was always, you saw her leveling up every time, you know what I'm saying? Like once that potential was realized, and it was like, okay, well, I can do that. Let's do this. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah.
Yeah. So.
All right. So I'm a hop and skip around and go off topic, off maturity for a little while.
Okay.
My question is, who had the best sex?
You ready?
Yep.
You said Issa and Daniel. I said nobody.
You talking about nobody?
I said nobody because I didn't like watching them have sex. It was like watching my friends have sex.
It was.
And I didn't like watching Issa have sex because it was like watching my like really good friend have sex. And I'm like, I didn't like watching none of them have sex. Let me see. Issa and Daniel, when they had like, no, Issa, you know what? Maybe Issa and Lawrence, but definitely not Issa and Nathan. I didn't even like to watch Molly and Dro have sex. I didn't like to watch Molly have. Oh no, Molly and Andrew. When
okay.
If I had to pick Molly and Andrew, because when it came on and Andrew was like, pow, I was like,
okay, Andrew. Now, I don't know, man. Issa and Daniel, man, that joint was intense.
On the couch.
Yeah, man. From the couch to the floor, it was all right. It was
the only thing I remember about that was the end when she got mad.
Okay, so since we on that, do you think she overreacted?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because I felt like that was over. I felt like she overreacted.
Yeah.
Like I felt like He ain't like he did it on purpose. You know what I'm saying?
First of all, it's like, what did you expect? Second of all, you should have felt great because you produced the reaction that you wanted.
Right, you did.
Because some men don't, and they have a hard time. So Ashley, Issa, you should have felt like job well done. Don't play with me. Right. Instead, she was like livid. She was.
I'm talking about like relationship ending livid. Like I felt like that was such an over exaggeration for something like that. That just I felt the exact same way. I'm like, what did you expect? I'm like, Lisa was tripping, man.
Yeah, she was. She was like, for real? I'm like, girl. Yeah.
Okay, simmer down.
I felt she was tripping.
Yeah, she was.
But yeah, so that's the only thing I remember about their scene. Yeah, so that's who mine would be.
But I feel like you went with Lawrence. Watching, I don't like you saying watching Easter felt like you watching him. I don't want to see that. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just like my home. I mean, I wasn't looking at Daniel either. But what I'm saying is,
I know
like, Lawrence was.
Now, Daniel know he was wrong. He know he was wrong. He sitting there laying on that couch trying to sleep. He in there.
Yeah.
He trying to act
that
like
wasn't gonna work anyway.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. But then you knew what he was doing.
Yeah, he knew what he was doing.
I don't know if the girl knew what she was doing, but Daniel for sure. Then he gonna try to wake up this one like, oh yeah, like okay. Y'all know, y'all be, tell the truth, Brian. Y'all be knowing, don't you?
I plead the fifth. Okay, wait, y'all. Okay, expound. Give me your red answer. We know we're doing what?
Everything. Y'all know when we feel away. Y'all know when y'all are doing something to us that's gonna cause a reaction.
Okay, not always, because y'all also expect us to do a lot of mind reading too. Like
they say, men are real simple, but.
We super simple. Like women are so complex. I think y'all are so complex sometimes that y'all psych yourself out of stuff. Like men are very, very simple. Very cut and dry, very like tell me what it is you want so I can give it to you. Just tell me. Like don't expect me to figure it out. Don't expect me to you should know I feel this way because we together now. We ain't that smart. Like when it comes to stuff like that. So I mean now granted sometimes we do know, you know what I'm saying, but that's just how we act sometimes. You know what I'm saying? I ain't saying it's right, but this is how we act sometimes. But that ain't always the case. You know what I mean? Sometimes we genuinely don't know. Like sometimes the way we feel about things is just different. We don't see it as serious, or we may not see it as an offense the way you see it as an offense. You know what I'm saying? And probably because of something that we've done previously. Because a lot of times men take cues from things we've experienced. And so sometimes we'll take a cue, like we'll compare one situation to something that we've done or that we've seen with you in the past, and it's like, well, she ain't tripped. So maybe this to us, okay, well, that's a similar situation. She might not trip. I know what it might sound, but I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And sometimes we assholes, and it just is what it is. But
where is my tiny violin?
I'm just saying. Y'all be having these expectations that
I mean, I know that we are thinkers. I know we're thinkers. Like I'm a thinker. I'm for sure a thinker. So I have to have somebody who communicates with me, and I have to have things like be on the up and up. Like what you're saying to me has to match up with what you're doing. And I feel if I feel it going backwards, then like that's I don't work so well with that.
I get that, but what I will say is women also have to understand that like communication is going to look different sometimes, and so like you also have to be willing to adjust your communication style to fit how a person communicates. Um, for instance, like I'm a writer, and so like
Me too.
in the past, I've done some of my best communicating in relationships through my pen. Mm-hmm. That hasn't been popular in some relationships because a woman wants to talk. I get that she wants to talk, but I'm not always able to communicate. Like I've always been better with the pen than I have verbally. And so there have been a lot of times in my life where I've been able to communicate my real feelings on paper or, you know what I'm saying, through a message as opposed to verbal communication, face-to-face communication. Because when I'm sitting in front of you, I may not know everything I want to say or it might not come to me. If you're not willing as my partner to understand that, now granted, there's some compromise, that there's work that has to be done on my side too to help, you know, so that I match your communication style. But if you're not willing to kind of communicate, like meet me there and understand that this is how I communicate, then I mean, you can't be too mad. Like, especially if I tell you, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So, you know, I think it just matters.
To hear you say that, cool points. I am a communicator and I do some of my best communication in writing. And it's so bad. But I mean, the same thing. It's like, I can start telling you something and then like if you interrupt me, then I'm going to lose my train of thought. And then we're going to go left when I was just trying to go right and I want to get this out. And I just want to clearly tell you what I want you to know without any interruption, because a lot of people listen only to respond.
That part. I was just going to say active listening matters. Like,
that's right.
Like they listen
so they just ready for their time to jump in. And so I'm guilty of that as well, you know? So I can write and I can just tell you exactly how I feel. And it can be long and I apologize. I'd be like, I'm sorry. But I just really want you to know how I feel or what I need to say. And I try not to do it often at all, but I communicate. I like to communicate for sure. But if I really got something on my chest and on my heart, baby, you finna go ahead and get this at yahoo.com message, okay?
Yeah, for real. You'll be better off when you receive that message if you let me write it than you do if you let me try to tell you. Because when I'm writing, I don't know, like when I'm writing, everything I'm feeling is coming out through that pen, and I'm able to articulate it in a way that gets my point across, but also, you know, communicates to you in a way that is respectful to your feelings, to your, you know what I'm saying? I'm able to like get my thoughts together, you know, because I'm guilty of the listening to respond thing too. Mm-hmm. But I also hate when a person cuts me off when I'm talking, like especially if it's like a argument, like a deep conversation, and I'm really trying to get it out. Because I lose my track of thought.
Yeah, that's something I try to work on. Because I be cutting people off. I try to stop. Because I'm like, dang, I'm going to forget what it was. But I have to work on that because I be like cutting people off. Like that Instagram. You seen the Instagram video? And what had got me? Let me talk.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I said, that's me and Shantae.
It's like that. Yeah. My voice memos on my iPhone used to be full of stuff I didn't want to forget, so I was talking into my voice memos on my iPhone. I'm talking about I had hours and hours of stuff, and I used to think that's so petty. You got your arguments in your voice memo so you don't forget it. But I used everything I like. If I thought about something, I was mad. I used to be in the car, wherever I was. I'd be like, and that's why I'm trying to tell you, you know, you make me feel this kind of way. And I'm just talking to my phone, and then I'll write it down later so I won't forget it. But
you shouldn't have told me that. Somebody cussing you out right now. But no, listen, I recorded a voice memo and sent it to somebody. But
oh shoot. They probably got that voice memo like, what the in the
But
at least you was able to get it out.
Listen, I had to communicate something like I did. And I didn't feel like writing it. I just wanted to say what I needed to say.
And then you said some old closed ass conversation. They can't respond to it, and then no closed off communication through a voice.
No, it wasn't closed. It was just, but yeah. But I'm trying to work. Honestly, I'm trying to work on like not sending long messages and just communicating.
I always feel like the communication part that we're talking about, that's where what's the girl name? Lord, they moved to Colorado.
Tiffany.
Tiffany. They're like, I feel like as far as the like communication, they struggled more than anyone, I believe.
Who? Like
her and her husband, as far as like how they communicate with one another. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like her style was more closed off. You know what I'm saying?
Honestly, it was just more so like a cookie cutter marriage to me. It was kind of like, I'm prissy. I want to get everything that I want. He's the great husband. Excuse me. And it didn't really show any holes in their relationship, which was good. But, it showed like Tiffany having a moment, because Tiffany was always just like ready and just upbeat and prissy and put together. That's the word. Tiffany was always put together. She had everything going for herself that she wanted and she needed until after she had her baby, and they showed her, having her postpartum depression. And that was a real moment for, man, like, this show is just awesome. It's just amazing.
It was probably one of the best, I would say one of the most well-written episodes.
Yeah.
It was a really, really well put together episode. Down to the end when she opened that hotel room door.
Yes.
Like,
just being vulnerable and just not knowing. Vulnerable.
Yeah, and just like at just not knowing what to do.
Yeah.
And just trying to get away. You know what I'm saying? Like crying out for help and running away from it. You know what I'm saying? Like it was good.
And then the way her husband, you know what I'm saying? Like how gentle he was, when he found her, and just making her feel like she was okay, because that's important, and just being delicate and handling those situations, and being good friends and showing up for your friends.
Yeah, there are a lot of lessons to be learned in that show. I mean, like just showing up for friends and how they really did it. I mean, even to the end, they set a rule in their friendships. We always come for birthdays. We're always, and they stuck to it. Like, I mean, it's just so many lessons to be learned. Like, I mean, I be thinking about like how many birthdays people we have and not everyone shows up and we miss them, that kind of thing. So they had really good life lessons, friendships, all kinds of things. I liked the wide range of emotions that they showed with the men. You saw them at their worst, but you also got to see every male on that show at some point at their most vulnerable or like gentle, or you know what I'm saying. So it was like a wide, there was no typecasting. You know what I'm saying, as it relates to men, to black men, even with black women. You saw successful black women who were just like us. They did such a good job. Insecure to me. I was hoping they would have 10 seasons. Like I was like, it could have still been going on.
I was hoping she did a spinoff.
I know it was just so current. It was fashion forward.
It was just music, super relatable. Oh my God, Raphael Sadiq did anime. How many times you Shazam something? I was like,
every episode,
man.
And I feel like Jasmine Sullivan should have just been in charge of writing Insecure songs, because Let It Burn and Insecure, I be listening to Insecure still. Like, it's so perfect.
I just thought about that song the other day.
It's so perfect. Even the video was like, that video made me feel like I was there. Like, I'm saying, I used to watch Insecure and feel like they knew me. like I was there. Like I ain't watching it. I'm just in the room somewhere, and like we all there together. Like it's just.
Let me tell you the episode that I really, really liked. I mean, so many, but when it was second season, and Issa, Molly, Tiffany, and Kelly were at some type of event, and they pulled up like Lawrence dating Tasha, and they was all around, and they was like, Issa, you feel away? And Issa was like, no, I'm good. You know what I'm talking about? You remember? Mm-hmm. Like, no, I'm good. Like, no, I don't. There's no reason that I need to talk bad about her. She goes to the bathroom because, of course, she feel away. She goes to the bathroom, and Molly walks in. What she say? Pull that bitch up. I'm like, come on. Yeah, listen. The show is so real because you know your people. You know your people. You know what I'm saying? Even though we good friends.
It was so relatable.
Even though we good friends, I want to keep it together, but guess what? Low key. Right. And then it just like when she was like this show, when she was like looking at like the girl page and looking at Lawrence page, I was like, oh, so everybody do that.
Everybody do that. That's perfect. Like everybody do that. Perfectly sums up that show. Like it was so
relatable.
Like our generation, so relatable. So like, I could see that happening. Even when Molly and Issa fell out. And
that's what I was going to say. That's why. I didn't interrupt you. I'm so proud of myself because I wanted to talk about that.
No, you should. Yeah, you could have hopped on in there.
No.
Even when they fell out and what they went through, you know what I'm saying, for those episodes, and it was so real. It was so like this their journey, and because in real life it's hard to not be friends with somebody you're in the same friendship circle with. You know what I'm saying?
It can be complicated. It can be difficult.
It can be difficult.
It can be difficult.
It can be easy. It can definitely be easy, but it can be difficult too. And I just like the way they wrote the show. I like how real it was all the time.
Mm-hmm. And when you brought up Molly and Issa, I like how it showed like Molly and Issa had some strife. It showed Kelly and Tiffany having some strife. You know what I'm saying? And it just goes to show that you can be friends and you can have I don't want to say confrontations, but you can like have falling out about whatever. But like real friends, you bring it back together. You work to make it, you know what I'm saying? Because you know that it's worth it, and Issa and Molly's was a little bit different. I just felt like it was way more different because they really got into an argument. Like they really reared their heads to one another. And that's the thing, when you are so close with somebody and they know all your shit, like those are the people who can hurt you the most because they can fire right at you. So they read each other. And it was difficult because they missed each other and they was going through. And I just love how the show displayed. Even Kelly would be like, it's hard, but we're getting there. Because Molly would ask her, or Issa would ask her about her and Tiffany. So I just love how it just kind of showed that, just because you friends with somebody doesn't mean that y'all are going to always be copacetic. Right? Sometimes you're going to have falling out. Sometimes you're going to have disagreements. But if you guys have a pure and genuine relationship and you purely care about one another, you can fix it. Like it can be good. You know what I'm saying? And I just love how that showed. And I was glad that, Molly and Issa, I knew they were going to. But it was only a matter of time though, because that's too. It's only a matter of time. You can tell they were bumping heads. They were consistently bumping heads, so it was only a matter of time. So you need that sometime. So since we've gotten all of our questions out of the way, just thinking about the show, the season finale, the show finale in its entirety, I was kind of scared. Like, I didn't know what was going to happen because the way the season started off, and we were like in episode 7, and I felt like nothing was really like concrete, especially with Issa and her relationships. And I'm like, what is going on? Like, how is she going to cram all this into like one episode? So I was highly pleased with how the show ended, and I didn't know how she was going to fast forward through, but she did it. And it was a great way that she did it, with the birthdays. Did you want it to end that way? Let me ask you that. How would you have ended it? Or would you have ended it that way?
I'm trying to think, like, so I definitely wouldn't have ended it that way. Of course, I would have ended it with Issa and Lawrence being together.
Not Nathan?
Because I'm telling you, like, at the very end, I wanted her to be with Lawrence. You know what I'm saying? I just felt like at that time, like, Lawrence was what she needed. I mean, Nathan was what she needed. I'm sorry. But I honestly thought at the very end, I thought that wedding was going to be her and Lawrence. You know what I'm saying? But
I watched too many movies to know better.
Yeah. But it's just, I don't know. The dynamic of them, and I guess it had been a year later or whatever. I just, something about the co-parenting aspect was weird to me.
Why?
Not weird that they were co-parent, but I don't know. It was just hella comfortable. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
but I guess
years had passed. It was supposed to be comfortable, but I don't know. I don't know. I think it was my bias too, because I was like so upset that the show was ending. I didn't care. I didn't want it to end, so it was like I don't think I would have been comfortable with any ending. The only thing that threw me for a loop was Kelly. Kelly really threw me for a loop at the end.
Yes, yeah, Kelly was like, I'm finna have a baby. I'm like, okay, Kelly, come through.
Right.
So it's good to see people having a different mind frame than they had before. It's so refreshing to see somebody who be like, man, I would never. And then you see them evering.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just so refreshing to see that. Yeah, but I would have wanted it to end like that, honestly. Like, I wanted Issa to end up with Lawrence because they genuinely love one another. Like, honestly, that's what I was saying earlier, because I just have to paint the picture. I am such a storyteller. My best friend like, can you get to the end? I'm like, but it's not good if I don't give you like the good parts of the story. Like, I have to paint the picture for you. I don't want to say a cat ran across the road and he got hit. I want to say, so there's this cat and it walked up slowly and then it sat on the bench. And then it waited for one car to pass and then it stopped. It went, then it went, it came back, right? And then it thought no cars were coming. And then Rick, I want to paint a picture. Like, I need to see it. So I wanted it to end like that because, again, like, Lawrence and Issa, like, they truly love one another and life just happened. And that's what happens. Mm-hmm. And, the whole thing when, like, I saw somebody say, like, Lawrence and Issa is toxic. I'm like, that's not toxic. Like, I hate that y'all got that word because that's not what toxic means. They keep going back to, it's not like they are being harmful to one another. It's not like they're being abusive to one another. It's just that life is happening and they're just deciding whether to deal with it or not. Like, that's just what it is.
Right, yeah.
But,
it definitely wasn't.
Right. Toxic. And so they're trying to fight their true feelings because nobody wants to be an idiot, right? And so it's like, I'm not going to deal with this. I'm just going to move on. Like, Lawrence could have stayed after she cheated. He could have made it work. But he's like, it ain't many men who gonna stay because y'all ego and what y'all think your friends think about you. But they really.
I remember.
Go ahead. No, interrupt.
No, that's me.
No.
Go ahead.
But no, I just want to say, like, they loved each other. Like, they really, really loved each other and they vibed. And I loved how it did show them co-parenting because guess what? Mm-hmm. So many men and women co-parent.
Yeah.
There are very few men that I meet who don't have a child.
Yeah.
And I mean, we're not late 30s, early 40s. Like, so what? So, I don't want no man who got no children. Come on, man. Like, well, I don't know.
That's unrealistic.
And even the same thing with women. Like, many women have kids or a child. So
you're not gonna find that very.
You're not.
It's only a few of us who ain't got no kids.
It's only a few of us that ain't got no kids. So like that's not gonna stop me from being with somebody who I genuinely vibe with and I have a connection with. Like, no, not at all. So I like seeing that because life happened and they rode with it, and that child is not I just hate for somebody to be like, I ain't doing that. Like the child is a problem.
The child is innocent. The child has nothing to do with that. Like,
that's how I feel. So I was just glad that, and she was comfortable and it was good. So, I like that. So I did like the ending now.
What did you think about Molly and I can't think of the man's name.
Torian.
She just seemed like Torian. There it is.
So that's who I was gonna say something about.
Oh, okay.
So Molly and Torian, I love how they ended up because in the beginning, he did not like her. He was not feeling her. Mm-hmm. He ain't had nothing to do with her, and she was trying that new law firm, but they had a moment like when you were in spaces like that when somebody's being competitive with you. It's hard, and you look at them as a butthole. So if you feel like somebody is half as good as you and they can take your spot, no, you don't like them. But when you see them in a different element, in a different space, that changes things.
It changes things.
And that's what happened with the two of them. They saw each other in a different space.
Right.
And they kind of both let their guards down and had fun and weren't so much about work. And it worked. And, Molly said something like one, it was funny when they were awkward and their colleagues was like, they mess around. She's like, Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something about us black folks. We know.
Yeah, we know. And they made it so, she hugged the man. Like, that wasn't no congratulations hug.
I know, it was holy.
That was a congratulations. My man got a promotion.
Listen,
like, you know what I'm saying?
That thing was like, ooh, you gonna get it tonight.
Right.
That's what that was. She's like, y'all come hug this man. So,
Torian also came along at a time when Molly was having to do life in a way that she wasn't ready to do life. You know what I mean? I mean, the mother's sick, and I think him being there for her.
That was big.
Genuinely showing up, because Molly also had a history of men who didn't show up when she needed them. None of the men she would drove. But when was Molly vulnerable like that? Because Molly ain't never been vulnerable like that, so she ain't never needed nobody to show up for her. But again, effort. Whether she needed it or not, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I'm just talking about intention. I feel like, you know what I'm saying? Well, she's right. She never really needed nobody.
But this is, you know what? When you say how you see somebody, how you see yourself in another person, I could say Molly. Because Molly was put together as far as self-sufficient. I can do it. Remember, she had to go pick something up. And she didn't want to do it, but she had to do it because she had nobody else. But she went and picked up some table or something. And she had to carry it by herself. And it's I can do it. I don't need. It's funny. I had to move a couch yesterday morning. I moved a couch out of my house yesterday morning, and I had to, oh my God, pick it up, put it down, turn it sideways, push it out my front door to the side of the street so the trash man can pick it up. And I said to myself, Adrian could do it. I got it. But it wasn't I wanted to do it. It was I got to do it because ain't nobody here to do it for me. So that's the thing. I'm not gonna play the damsel in distress because I gotta do it. I have to do. And honestly, it sucked. That shit yesterday sucked. That I had to do this and that I did not have a significant other to do this. I had to push this couch out of my house, down the stairs, the little stairs, to the edge of the road, and I was like, "Don't worry, Adrian can do it."
Brothers of Vegas, I'm gonna need y'all to be a little more aware. Somebody saw this woman moving the couch, and didn't come out. So somebody was looking at you like, look at her moving that couch. Get y'all asses up, bro. Men in Vegas and show some goddamn initiative. No woman moving no couch by herself. Somebody saw you moving that.
It was
couch.
7 a.m. though, so nobody saw me.
Just saying,
ain't nobody saw me but my neighbor probably.
Yeah,
but
I will say Molly also wore her emotional on her sleeve. Though.
She what? Oh yeah,
wore her emotional on her sleeve.
That's me. Both of them. Oh, I appreciate it. So her and Torian, like, they got together, and they had a real moment in that pantry when she said, yo, like, I'm afraid that I'm gonna show my real self and you're gonna run off.
You're not yet. Mm-hmm.
And that's real. It's so real.
Yeah.
Because it's so funny. I was just talking to a friend the other day, and I was like, I can only be who I am. Like, I can't like keep something in that I really feel, because one of the things that I refuse to ever do is sacrifice my peace. So if not saying how I really feel, and I just feel like something in my spirit is just like not settling with me, and I'm just being quiet, like, I'm sacrificing my peace. I don't have peace. Mm-hmm. So I gotta say something. Like, I can't be a person who just like, you know what, I'm just gonna be quiet. And I know this annoys me and I feel this way, and it really, really makes me feel away, but I'm just gonna, like, I ain't gonna say nothing, because that's not who men want. Men want you to just sit there and look pretty and don't cause any trouble. Screw that. Listen here, let me tell you what's going on. No.
Yeah, I think that's a struggle on both sides, though. I feel like, especially these days, like, it's hard. I feel like it's hard based on society standards and what you see on social media and what this new portrayal of women and men are now. I feel like it's a struggle for everybody. I don't feel like nobody is showing who they are, because they're so afraid that if you see me, you're not gonna like what you see. You know what I'm saying? I can't give you. I need to show you what you saw on Instagram. You know what I'm saying? So I can't. I'm afraid to show you what I am at 11:36 at night when the day's long and I'm tired. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's hard. There's this struggle for men to be
vulnerable.
No, like vulnerable, and there's this persona, I guess, that men have to put on now to keep up with what other men are doing. You know what I'm saying? Just like it is with women, to look and act and do things a certain way to keep up with other women, and everybody's just trying and everybody failing. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I think it is.
Yeah. I don't know.
I just I heard something yesterday that I heard before, and I think it was like I think it was actually at the beginning of the year, but somebody just said that you have to see a person in all their seasons. And man, that just resonated again, because Tyler Perry was the first person that I saw say that. Like, you have to see a person in all their seasons, and that worst season is like when they're down and out, failure, like feeling like they have nothing going for themselves. Like, who are they then? And like, I still want to hopefully motivate somebody even when I'm at my worst. Like, I still want to be at my worst and still be lovable. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like that's important. And I can't remember where I read it or where I was listening to it yesterday, but it was like, sometimes you meet a person in one season and then you guys get together and a year may go by and they're in a different season. And it's not that a person has changed. It's just that they're in a different season. They're still the same person, but they're just going through something else. And it was just like, and that season thing is it's something, it's something to pay attention to. And like I believe that because we're happy, we're content, or not even content, but we are like good, right? And then you have when you're insecure and you don't feel handsome, you don't feel pretty, you don't feel, like you're living up to this standard of beauty or whatever. Right. Then you have when you are like down and out, you don't hit rock bottom, you don't know what's left, what's right, Then you have a season of like your comeback, and I feel like I can do it all, and I am, invincible. Like, many different seasons, but I think that what matters is like your core, your character. Like, if that doesn't change.
I totally agree. But I also feel like that's why, as an individual, it's so important before you even engage in a relationship to make sure that you are completely prepared for a relationship. And it's kind of like you have to prepare yourself for seasons in yourself. Like, the summer coming, so you need shorts. Winter coming, so if you ain't got no coat, you won't need a coat. You know what I'm saying? And so you have to do that kind of stuff. You have to do that kind of stuff internally in relationships. Like, you have to make sure that you're the best version of yourself before you engage in relationships and before you go out and trying to sell yourself, because like you said, you have to adjust you have to be willing to take a person at every season. And you can't blame a person if you weren't prepared for their season. If you went in unprepared. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't be mad at the winter and you ain't got no coat. You ain't having no coat before you got there. You knew it was coming. You know what I'm saying? And so if you're not ready to be in a relationship, you can't be mad at a person for anything they've done as it relates to who they are. If you hadn't done the work already on yourself to prepare yourself for whoever you meet, that's in any kind of relationship. And so, like, you have to really do the work and prepare yourself and be ready for those stages. Because most of the time, especially with men, when you talk about men's insecurities, most of the time those insecurities don't come from us feeling inadequate or us feeling like we were offended. It comes from an insecurity of something we didn't prepare for, or something that was stifled previously that we hadn't done the work to fix. And that's just how it goes in relationships. Like, you're dealing with a man who can't make his mind up. You're not dealing with a man who feels offended. You're dealing with a man who's unprepared. That's preparation matters, because like I was saying, when you're dealing with a man who has issues with not knowing what he wants, not being able to grow in a communication kind of way, you're not dealing with a man who's feeling offended. You're dealing with a man who's not prepared. You're dealing with a man who didn't do the work prior to getting in a relationship. You're dealing with a man who didn't have to do the work before, and so he hasn't worked on himself enough to even know how to do the damn work. You know what I'm saying? And that's why being prepared matters all the time. And that to me goes back to being like little boys, like being prepared with what you need and just knowing how to prepare yourself. So like it makes perfect sense. Like, you have to be ready for a person in every season. And men, I feel like, need to do more work because of how simplistic we are. Because sometimes that simplicity can intertwine. It can kind of get mixed in with apathy. And so sometimes you get to a point where it's like, well, I'm simple. It's how I am, and it turns into I don't care. You feel me? And so, like, women, that's not how it works. It's how y'all analyze things, y'all think about things. You require more. And as a man, everybody knows it. We say it all the time. Men are simple, women are complex. As a man, if you know men are simple and women are complex, you need to do the work prior to engaging with this woman that you know going to be complex before you get with her, so you already have an understanding of how that works, so that you're prepared. So when the winter comes and you know this woman gonna be complex, you got enough coats. You got enough
come through, Brian.
You got enough to do. And you're not out here trying to appease this woman in the winter, and you got flip flops on. You're gonna be cold.
I'm gonna say that to somebody. I'm like, so you came to the party with flip flops? He gonna be like, what? I'm like, don't worry about it.
Because you're gonna be cold, and when you get cold, you get agitated. That's what happens. That's what happens. You meet her, and when you meet her, it's cool because you met her in the summertime. And in the summertime, y'all was vibing. I was at a day party. Well, that's cool, but fall came and shit changed for her. Now she going through something. You might still be in the summertime. You might still think shit gravy, and now winter's here, and she really going through some shit. And now you at her house with flip flops on. and you cold, and you mad at her because the temperature dropped. When you in that motherfucker with flip flops on, you ain't prepared.
Give me a word.
And you ain't even aware enough. You ain't even aware enough as a man to notice the seasons change. You ain't see the leaves falling off the trees. You ain't noticed that it was the days was getting shorter. You ain't even noticed she put a jacket on. You got her flip flops on. You ain't even noticed that she put a jacket on. You just out here living. You ain't do the work. You ain't ready for it. And now you mad at her because you cold. You ain't mad at her because you cold. You mad at her because you ain't prepared. And that's what shit you ain't work on. So like that's the whole thing. Like that's communication. That's how all that shit works together. That is why I be on some manhood shit. Like that's why I'm writing a whole book on emotional.
I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it.
Because that's the stuff that you have to work yourself. Those are the things you have to prepare for, and that's why people be mad. You know what I'm saying? And I've always been one that believes that while women can have a fault in relationship issues, it's still up to the man to lead. And that's not like women are subservient kind of thing, because they're not. But I need to be able to make sure my woman got what she needs.
Right. And that's the thing. Some people don't understand. Some people don't understand the whole leading concept. Like, it's not like women are being, like you said, subservient and submissive. Being submissive just means something different than, women feeling like, oh, you're beneath your man. When women hear you need to be submissive, when some women hear you need to be submissive, they hear you are less than your man. And that's not what that means. Right. It just means you want to follow, right? And your man should lead, but your man should be leaning. Your man should be following God. Okay? Your man should be following God. So if your man is following God, then you should have no problem with following your man, who has no problem with leading.
Absolutely, because your man would have a firm understanding on what that word even means.
That's right. Exactly. So, having somebody, because I want somebody to lead. You know what I'm saying? I want somebody to lead. Like, I am submissive enough where I want to follow, and I want to trust where you're taking us, because you have an understanding of what leading means. You know what? Don't get me to.
Yeah, that's good. I'm talking about that is textbook. That is completely why Issa was upset with Lawrence. In my opinion, he wasn't a leader.
Oh yeah, no, he wasn't.
He wasn't a leader. Leading, in my, like, when we talk about leading, I always look at leading like women want to feel like they're secure. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you said men or women?
Women.
Yes.
Want to feel like they're secure.
Yes, security.
They want to feel like they don't have to worry about anything. Like, you know what I'm saying? That their man can handle the things that, you know what I'm saying? Like,
and if he can't, there's nothing wrong with going to your woman and saying,
right, can you help me?
Can you help me?
You shouldn't, right. But as a man, you shouldn't expect her to help you if you're not putting forth the initiative. You know what I'm saying? Like, I still feel like this. And that's just me. And I think it's because I grew up not seeing men who knew how to lead. Like, I say all the time, like, I didn't see a real example of a man until I was damn near 25 years old. And we was at Fort Valley. And I was the first man that I saw that I felt like was a man, like dang, like he is a man, was the pastor at Trinity. Pastor Moore.
Pastor Moore.
He was the first man that I saw in my life who was married, like, for real. And, like, he was a man, like, he was taking care of, like, that's the first example I saw. And he understood it, you know what I'm saying? And there was no expectation from him to demand anything from his wife that he hadn't already given her. And so that's like, and that's how, I think that's why I feel so strongly about it now. Like, yo, you can't expect so much from a woman when you haven't given her anything. Like, even initiative matters. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, damn, like, show me something. Show me that you care. Like,
Mm-hmm.
show me that even though you're going through it right now, that there's something inside of you that, like, I can lean on. I'm your woman. Like, I still want to feel secure, even if you ain't,
Mm-hmm.
even if you ain't doing your best right now. Even if you're in your winter season, you can't afford a coat. Show
You
me
can,
that you're trying to stay warm.
right.
You know
And
what I'm
also,
saying?
but
Like,
then also for women too, I think that it's important for us to feel like our men feel like they feel comfortable leaning on us, right?
right,
Because
right.
a lot of men have a hard time with being vulnerable, showing their insecurities. And
Mm-hmm.
I think that when men find somebody that they can like truly be like that with and not have the fear of someone throwing something back up in their face or, because that's something that people do.
Ridicule.
Yeah. That's a whole different level of comfort for men because men
Right.
are, they are perceived as being macho and strong and they don't show
Mm-hmm.
emotion when they actually should, and
Right.
for a man to feel like he can lean on his woman, not to say that that's something he doing all the time, but if he needs
Right.
to, that's
He can,
important.
right.
And women, we have to know how to receive that as well, so it goes both ways as well with trying to figure out our places and what we are to one another.
Right.
I,
Right.
I feel that.
I totally agree with that.
I feel
Totally
that.
agree with that.
With Molly, what I was saying earlier is I was glad that they showcased like Molly getting somebody who was like on her level financially, because a lot of times Black women, we feel like we have to I don't want to. Okay, yep. Date down. Yeah, a lot of times Black women, we feel like we have to date down, and we do. I just like how Molly didn't have to date down, and she found somebody who was economically equivalent to her. Because we don't see that a lot of the times. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
it's man, like, it's a struggle, man. Like, I talk to guys all the time. A lot of homeboys who single, and Black women y'all are just awesome. Like, Black women y'all just do it. Like, I feel like I know so many Black women who are just so uber successful and who have jobs and who have salaries that are just a lot higher than the men that they're dating or just whatever. And it's hard, you know what I'm saying? We have these conversations too as men, like, like trying to make sure you have more to bring to the table, in terms of yourself, who you are, and what you can provide from an emotional standpoint, from a standpoint of security and relational compatibility, so that if economically you don't match, you have something else to give. Because the reality is, Black women are and have been and will probably always do better in that area than Black men. That's just y'all have a higher drive, you're more intelligent, you're smarter. That's just the reality of what the situation is. Even though you're still the most disrespected by far, but as it relates to our relationships and what we bring to the table from a financial standpoint, 9 times out of 10 that woman is gonna be making more money than that man. And then I think that's why it's so important.
But then also, I think it's important too. Like, if a man does have a good job and he is comfortable in his finances, even if the woman makes more money than him, it's still sexy for a man to not feel insecure about that, or for him to be comfortable.
Absolutely.
I'm always talking to somebody, but I was talking to somebody, a friend, and she was like, yeah, I made more than my fiance, and he brag about it. He be like, yeah, she made more money than me. Yeah, I'm her sugar baby. I started laughing. But you know what I'm saying? But a lot of men have an issue with that, and
right.
If that were to happen to me, I would want somebody to be like super comfortable and still know that they wear their pants, because like, wear their pants.
Right. As you should.
Like, if you're comfortable, like if you still make a comfortable living, like over comfortable, and I just so happen to make more money than you, like, still be like, you may make a couple more bucks than me, but don't get it twisted. I'd be like, oh, okay.
You know what I mean? Like, that's the truth. That's how it is in my household. make more money than me. But she know who the man in the house is. Like, it ain't no question.
She like sit down somewhere.
She like, figure it out. Like, you know what I'm saying? But it's because I'm secure enough in myself, and I've done that work. I'm telling you, always goes back to doing the work. You know, and if you have those insecurities, they're learned. Like, we're not born with those insecurities. Those insecurities are learned.
Right.
And they're not dealt with, and so you have to find out why it is that you feel like that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And you have to work on that, because you can have a successful relationship and be happy with a woman who makes more than you.
Yes.
And it not bother you.
Yes.
Or you can self-sabotage your relationship because of your own insecurities and fail to do, and not do the work. And ruin something that probably supposed to work out in your favor. You know what I'm saying? Because many times it pans out, because one thing about couples, especially Black couples, and we feed off each other, especially if the relationship is going well. It's not all the time, but if you were a woman who's making more money than you, it works. Like, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes she might motivate you to do something else. You know what I'm saying? You be, power couple type shit. So, I think all those that doing the work. Yeah.
No,
that's how I always
listen. I that's what I say about being in a relationship. Like, I don't want somebody who just wants to be in a relationship. I want somebody to want to do the work and want to be there. I think that's really important. You know what I'm saying? Like, if both of you want to be there, like, it's just a whole lot. But anyway, we have talked a lot about this season finale. I think we've pretty much covered everybody. We talked about Issa's growth. We talked about Lawrence's growth. We talked about Kelly's growth. Happy for you know what? We talked about Molly, and Molly finally finding somebody, and Molly finally just kind of no.
She's figuring it out for herself.
Molly figuring it out for herself. And you know something? Dro came back, right? So Molly.
Yes. I thought about that earlier. She really, I really thought, I was always wondering how it was going to be when Dro showed up. And she stuck their guns on it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had one of those same kind of feelings, but the way she kind of put him in his place, the way she kind of stood in there with Dro, to me was kind of the way Lawrence stood in there with Issa. You know what I'm saying? It was kind of like that. No, I know this is where I am right now. Just my past, thank you for coming, but, that kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I was wondering, I was wondering about what it was going to be like when Dro came back around. Because everybody has a Dro. That person who is just comes back in your life, and because their situation done changed, they feel like they can come and disrupt your situation and it's supposed to go back to what it was. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
But I wonder if Dro was calling because he wanted to see if him and Molly could have more, because they were good friends. I'm this is not being a hopeless romantic. This is just me like seeing the other side of the coin. Like, I'm an optimistic person. That's just who I am. So it's just like, was Dro reaching out because he's not married anymore. So now he wants to see, if maybe him and Molly could have something solid. However, it's not like him and Candace were stepping out on each other. They knew what they were doing. And what probably happened is what can end up happening if you invite other people into your bedroom. It might not work out, but we don't know why they got a divorce, right? And so Dro says that he reached out to Molly, and she's like, yeah, but I'm not one of those people. Like, not answer the phone. Like, I'm going to answer the phone. I'm going to answer the phone because honestly, I'm not answering the phone because I feel like, like they want to be with me, or like, it's more so like, what's wrong and what made them call me? It's a what's wrong type thing.
Why now?
Right. Not even a why not. It's like, what's wrong and what made them call me? It's kind of like being nosy. So, yeah, it's not like, this is circling back around. Nope. It's like, something must be wrong. What's wrong? Like, hey, Adrian, my car's on fire. And sometimes it's like, what has it been?
That's true. Yeah, I didn't look at it like that. That's how I look at things. So I don't not answer the phone when somebody's calling me unless
Unless I know why they calling me. Like, unless I don't told them to stop calling me and I know why they calling me.
Right.
Like, yeah. But even still.
I didn't look at it like that. I always felt like he wasn't, even though him and Candace had a clear and open kind of relationship, he still wasn't, he was very opaque in his he was never clear. You know what I'm saying? It was never like, I don't know.
What do you mean?
Always.
How much clearer could he be?
He was clear. He was definitely clear. What I mean is, I don't know. It was just that whole dynamic to me felt opportunistic. You know, I don't know. It felt opportunistic.
No, I mean, I feel because some people circle back around just because of the opportunity. You know, they don't really want nothing. It's just like, it's just here.
And they were in two different places, man. Like when
sure.
When you in a lifestyle, it's different. You know, when you are in that space, when you're trying to deal with somebody who's not.
Exactly. And so that's not what Molly wanted. Like, Molly wanted an exclusive relationship.
Right.
So I mean, it's just what it was. But I commend her for, like, just, you know, hey, it's like there was nothing to talk about, you know, and it just was what it was. So we talked about Molly and Dro. What? You know, Tiffany and Derek, they moved. Sometimes you don't want to move, but it just is what it is, and you're unhappy, but you'll find the happiness.
Mm-hmm. That was the communication. That was another one of those communication example pieces. I felt like I don't know if she ever really communicated that to him. I mean, I know she wanted. I mean, that's his job. You know what I'm saying? So when you find a job, you got to follow your husband. You got to do that, whatever. But I still don't know if she was ever really clear on not wanting to go to. You know, she was clear in her communication with her friend, but I don't know if she ever was really super clear or super open with him. You know what I'm saying? I think she just was supporting her man who got a job, and which
she has to do, because it's like, so what are you gonna do? Are you gonna, like, tell your man you don't want to go, and then if this is something he's decided about and he stays and he resents you for staying, or are you gonna just try to be supportive? Because if he's been supportive of her, she has to be supportive of him, and sometimes it requires us doing the things that we don't want to do.
Right, I agree. I mean, she has been supportive of him. I think I'm just talking about just the conversation aspect. I still feel like, I don't know. I'm just real big on talking through it.
Yeah,
they were going to go to Denver.
Yeah,
but I also feel like, even though support doesn't stop, and it's not always one sided. So they're gonna have to be supportive of each other forever because they're married. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And so I feel like there could have been a conversation had just off the strength of. I feel she still needed to let him know how she felt, because being there, even if she had to support him, she's still there and not happy. Mm-hmm. She still feels like she has no purpose. You know, she's still sitting at home, and so even though she went, I think it's still important for him as her husband to know that, and for her not to be playing perfect Tiffany in Denver.
I agree.
Not saying, hey, you know what I'm saying, because then they would say had to go to Denver, but he probably could have worked on something himself to say, well, you know what, she's going to Denver, she's supporting me here. Let me see if there's something I can do for her on my end while we're in Denver to make her feel like she matters to her. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it still feels like both parties are still kind of getting something out of the deal. Because you got to be uncomfortable sometimes with support. But that doesn't also mean that you still can't make sure that the person supporting you is somewhat, fulfilled in their support of you. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I'm not saying they had to change, but I always thought that, maybe a conversation could have been.
Mm-hmm. I will say that the last thing that I think that I want to say about it is, I just loved how at the very end that Issa drove around to, like, the places she had been, and people were still there, and that's real life, You have to you grow, you outgrow people, you outgrow things. And she passed by her old apartment complex or what it was out there. She passed by her old job. Frida was still out there with the same girl, you know, but it's about wanting more for yourself. And again, like stepping out on faith, and because you don't know what's out there, right? You don't know what's out there. You just know that you want something different. You want something better for yourself. And I gotta go. And sometimes we surprise ourselves. And she truly surprised herself, like from being at We Got Y'all, like in a classroom, kids like, why you not married? You know?
Right.
Like to sleeping on somebody's couch, to, you know, not even having a car because you done wrecked it.
Right.
You know, to just finding your way. And that's what we have to do. We have to find our way. And sometimes that's the beauty of it. Sometimes it's not what we want in the beginning, but you just keep going. You don't give up, and you'll get to where you want to be, like bit by bit. And so, you know, she got an apartment because she had to be like the manager of the apartment and deal with everybody, you know, which made her be more responsible because she didn't have a whole lot of responsibility. And then, you know, she came in contact with somebody who could help her elevate with this project she had going on, and she really put in the work. And like she blossomed. She blossomed to her own thing, like her own company, like her own creation. And it was just amazing. Like this girl got in a Lexus at the end, nice house. Right. She got her husband, and it may not be her happily ever after the way she wanted it, in the way that she thought it was going to be years ago. But she has her happiness. And again, like love only has to make sense to you. It only needs to make sense to you.
Yeah, it only needs to make sense to you. Yeah, that's true. And sometimes it helps to look back. Like drive down memory lane was so nostalgic, man. Like,
yes.
Yeah, passing by the Best Buy.
Yes.
Worked at Rite Aid and all that. It was just like, it was, you know, it helps you to appreciate where you've been. You know, it kind of reminds you or help you to know, like, where you going. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, her just, that sense of pride, that look she had on her face, like, dang, I made it. You know, like, just from despair in season 1 and not knowing what the fuck is going on in my life to I made it at the end of season 5, and like, dang, like this is what I had to go through. Like, I felt like I was leaving California. You know, I felt like I was leaving myself. Like, dang, man. Like,
So before we get out of here, I want to thank you so much for being a part of this conversation. I appreciate you so much. Whenever I come to Atlanta, like for sure, we're gonna get together. Like we're gonna do some lunch, some dinner, like something.
We got to.
For real. What's one tip you want to leave with the people? It can be about anything.
I think one tip that I would like to leave with anybody who is watching this or going to watch this is be authentically you, regardless of what that looks like to anyone else or how they feel about it. Because you ultimately, you don't want to have regrets concerning you. So always be you. Always make decisions that will benefit you. Because at the end of the day, you have to live in your body. You have to live your life. And everything that looks good to you won't always look good to everyone else. And you don't want to live your life with regrets and what ifs. So whatever it is that you're out there trying to get, where you're trying to go, whatever you're trying to do it. Be authentically you and be okay with being you and not feeling like you have to be somebody else, because people need to be able to accept you for who you are. And that's something I had to learn is just to be yourself. I mean, and if they can't accept that, then they probably shouldn't be around you anyway. You know what I'm saying? Your circle got to make sense. So yeah, be you. Yeah. If you want to follow me, you can follow me on Instagram at b.stewart_MDTW. I also have my own organization, Mission Manhood, or you can see it, Mission Manhood is my organization. You can go to www.missionmanhood.org. What else? I have a book. I wrote a book.
Let us see it.
Plug. Drop the Weight. Still on sale.
Drop the Weight.
Drop the Weight is just a guide to improving your mental fitness. It's kind of helping you to train your mind to think in ways that help you to drop the weight that you've been carrying, whether it be past hurt, anger, resentment, anything like that. If you want to purchase that book, www.missionmanhood.org/purchases. You can get a copy of that book. I got a new book coming out. Sometimes I'm still writing. I think it's going to be a really good book. Still doing that. I have enjoyed being here, man. Thank you for having me. We definitely got to do it again.
You're welcome. You. Look at these Brooks kind of people, authors and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Sure. Yeah. Small town. Listen, don't tell us we can't do anything. Like, do anything you want to do. So a little bit about Mission Manhood.
So Mission Manhood is an organization that is aimed towards just instilling young men. It's primarily geared towards young men and kind of instilling them with educational standards and just the skills they'll need to kind of exist in a society not designed for them. And so basically, we are a mentorship organization. I have developed a curriculum called Integrity. It's an 8 to 10 week program in which I teach everything from financial literacy to bullying to how to focus, all kinds of things. And we have a community service aspect of the organization as well. We do book bag and toy drives every year. I just got finished doing a blanket drive for the homeless, and I actually have toiletry drive coming up on the 15th of this month. And crazy thing is, like, funny how God purposes your organization. My organization started out as primarily mentorship and those things, and community service was kind of down here. But I think my organization kind of shifted to more of a community service organization, and we offer these things. So it's just an organization geared at helping young boys become men who can function in society.
I like it. Yeah. We need to talk about, if I can do any sponsorships or donate any supplies or anything that you need, like, for sure. Yeah. Like,
absolutely. Oh, and while you say, I'm sorry to cut you off, if you would like to donate to our toiletry drive monetarily, if you're not in the Atlanta area, if you're in the Atlanta area and you have any toiletries or anything you want to donate, I'll come get them myself. The last day you were doing that pickup is on the 12th. If you want to donate monetarily, you can donate to missionmanhood.org/donate. And you get the receipt and everything. If you want to, it's not, refundable, you want to give on your tax or whatever you want to do. So it's missionmanhood.org/donate.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's dope. I love helping and giving back.
Yeah. Appreciate it.
Super, super dope. Super dope. My tip for anybody listening to the show today would be grow. Grow. Grow is such an important word. A lot of times we don't realize that God is putting us in a position to grow, and we shy away from it. We do everything but, because you have to be uncomfortable a lot of times to grow. And we hate discomfort, It's a known fact. We hate being uncomfortable. But that's where you grow. And so it's important to make sure that you not only grow for yourself, but grow for, I don't want to say others, but when you grow, it helps you reach your potential. Mm-hmm. It helps you get to that person that you're destined to be. It helps you get those things that you want and that you see for yourself. Mm-hmm. So, grow. Like that's just my tip.
Yeah.
Like,
great tip. Absolutely.
Gotta grow. All right. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to our podcast today. Please be sure to like, subscribe, comment, and share this podcast. Brian, again, thank you so much for being on our show, and we will catch you guys next time. You're more than welcome. Much peace, love, and chaos. Peace out.